Hare Krishna. So it's always very difficult to pronounce my name. When we write in English, it is like with A we end up, right? So it's A as Swa. Hare Krishna. We'll sing Jai Radha Madhava and then we'll continue. It's not connecting. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadra Mai Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion in the second canto, 8th chapter and 29th shloka. Please repeat after me. I try to read it with Yat yat parikshit drushabah Panduna manupruchhati Anupurvyena tatsarvam Akhyatumupachakrame. पढ़ा करना. यद्यत् परीक्षित दृषभः पाण्डूनामनुपृच्छति अनुपूर्व्येन तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुमुपचक्रमे. यद्यत् परीक्षित दृषभः पाण्डूनामनुपृच्छति अनुपूर्व्येन तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुमुपचक्रमे. यद्यत् परीक्षित दृषभः पाण्डूनामनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्व्येन तत्सर्वम् यद्यत् परीक्षित ऋषभः पाण्डूनामनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्व्येन तत्सर्वम् आख्यातमुपचक्रमे. Anyone else from Mataji's? No? Okay, we'll go with word to word meaning. Yat yat, whatsoever, Parikshit, the king, Rishabhaha, the best, Pandunam, in the dynasty of Pandu, Anupruchhati, goes on inquiring, Anupurvyena, the beginning to the end, Tat, all those, Sarvam, fully, Akyatum, to describe, Upachakrame, he just prepared himself. Translation: he also prepared himself to reply to all that King Parikshit had inquired from him. Maharaja Pariksit was the best in the dynasty of the Pandus, and thus he was able to ask the right questions from the right person. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaja Pariksit asked many questions, some of them very curiously to know things as they are, but it is not necessary for the master to answer them in order of the disciples' inquiries, one after the other. But Sukadeva Goswami experienced the teacher that he was answered all the questions in a systematic way as they were received from the chain of disciplic succession, and he answered all of them without exception. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, 8th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Questions by King Pariksit. Before proceeding with our discussion, we'll chant prayers. Om Ajnana ज्ञानाञ्जनतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम। Where from next chapter onwards Sukadeva Goswami is going to answer all the questions, whatever the questions asked. So it's it's very tough to bring the points and discuss and mention about this particular shloka, but at least I request all of you pray for me, and so that I try to speak the right words at the right time with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas. And I know I am not really eligible to discuss in front of the senior Vaishnavas and senior devotees, but as a service opportunity, I took this opportunity, and I'm trying to discuss something which according to the scriptures what is it is mentioned. So yeah, I will already, it's a kind of we will be sometimes, yeah. So the 8th chapter completely discusses all the questions. Actually, Pariksit Maharaj asked many questions, and we were trying to cover these questions from last 1.5 month, kind of every day one question, or some or the other way we were discussing in the different incarnations and Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here in this shloka, it is giving the link between the chapter 8 and the next coming chapters. Or what I see, overall, this is a kind of the 8th chapter questions, all questions which are asked by the king Pariksit Maharaj it's a kind of what we can say, it's a coverage of all the Bhagavatam. He asks about the creation, he asks about the mystic powers, he asks about many things. That covers most of the points which will be discussed, which we will be discussing, or most of the times we are discussing in the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, different incarnations and so on. So with these questions, Sukadeva Goswami is going to start answering the questions in a systematic way. So as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, that there are many gurus, and they try to explain the philosophy, according to the questions which are coming from his students or the disciples. Right, but might be there is no possibility that all questions are answered in the systematic way. It's up to the Guru who can answer any question anywhere. He can pick any question and he can answer to that question. There is no right to the student to ask like, why you are telling this? I need this answer. Because the Guru and the Shishya's relationship is always, the Guru will be, the teacher will be the master, and the student will be follower of the master. So, in many cases, maybe there is a possibility if the Guru is not an expert, maybe he picks up whatever the questions he can answer, and he can start answering those questions, But here, what it is mentioned, by Srila Prabhupada, that Sukadeva Goswami is learned scholar, or he born with, complete knowledge. So, Pariksit Maharaj, whatever the questions asked by Pariksit Maharaj, and Sukadeva Goswami is going to answer in a systematic way, right? Now, in the psychology of, when we were reading this educational qualification, like Bachelor of Education, where whatever the points which are going to be discussed with the students, that should be in a structured way. You have to introduce the point, and what the student knows and what he doesn't know. According to that, you have to put a point, and then from there you have to take it forward, and so that the student can easily understand. For example, if the person doesn't know about car, what exactly car means, and in the childhood we used to run out of the house to see if there is a car coming to the village. We don't know what exactly the car itself. And then if we start explaining about the car engine, if the teacher is going to explain about the tires and the science of behind the moving and everything, it's very difficult. But the student needs to understand what is the car, right? Similarly, here the Pariksit Maharaj questions, and whatever the questions asked by Pariksit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami Swami is going to put the points in a systematic way, and so that it is very easy to understand, right? So that is the point where Sukadeva Goswami is very learned and elevated soul, we can say. So out of this, as a chapter 8, what is the conclusion? What we can learn from this, from the Bhagavatam? There are many questions asked, and many questions are going to be answered by Sukadeva Goswami. But the conversation between Pariksit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, reveals many things internally that we can see. There are few points I try to capture from the the same chapter. So Pariksit inquires about this very important matter for the benefit of all classes of candidates on the path of self-realization and devotional service to the Lord. This is the base point where why these questions are asked. The questions are asked for self-realization. It's not only the self-realization of the Pariksit Maharaj, the self-realization of all the classes of the candidates. Irrespective of their birth, whether they're born in a Brahmin family, or they're born in a Kshatriya family, or they're born in a Shudra family, or Vaishya family, or whatever the classification, or whatever the order of life, irrespective of that, everyone should get benefit out of this, right? So that is the main intention behind this, where Pariksit Maharaj started his inquiries. And in the process of devotional service, the first step is to take the shelter of the spiritual master, and then inquire from the spiritual master all about the process. Why Pariksit Maharaj is asking the question to Sukadeva Goswami, and what is the mood of Sukadeva Goswami? We have to understand this, and so that whenever we are listening to the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and we have to be in that mood. Or most of the times we can understand when we approach Bhagavad Gita, when we approach Bhagavatam and when we wanted to understand the spiritual knowledge, the importance is taking the shelter of spiritual master. That is the mood of Pariksit Maharaj, where while he is asking these questions, there are around 15 to 16 questions asked, and there are in between the discussions were happening. So taking the shelter of spiritual master is very much important, especially when we are in the spiritual path. Maybe in the material plane, when you are going to the college, maybe Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki Jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai Sudarshan ki, Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So from the material education point of view, maybe you might change your profession or your topic based on your interests. For until 10th class we will be reading something, and when we go to the board of intermediate we choose something else which is not tough for us, which is very easy for us. Like that we can change. But in the spiritual plane it is not like that. You have to be one pointed focus. Vyavasayatmika buddhireke hakurunandana bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. I mean, what our focus should be on Krishna and Krishna's lotus feet and moving in the spiritual direction. So for that, what we have to do, we have to take the shelter of spiritual master. So that is what Pariksit Maharaj done here, where also in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun took the shelter of Krishna, right? Surrender to Krishna. In which sloka it is? In 2.7. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. So the situations are similar, I think, Here Pariksit Maharaj in a situation where he is going to die in 7 days, and he wanted to know which is the right thing I need to learn, or I need to understand, I need to practice even in the at the end of life. He is inquiring about that. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjun is asking Shri Krishna that what exactly my duty, what should I do now? Because I am confused. There are lot of caste and creed and related rules and regulations are there. He explained everything in the first chapter, and going towards the second chapter, when we try to understand, he bewildered and he confused. So what is my duty? What should I do now? That way what he did, he surrendered to Shri Krishna. So as here in Bhagavatam also, like in Pariksit Maharaj, he surrendered and she took the shelter of Sukadeva Goswami, right? This is the kind of, the importance of spiritual master. Because spiritual master, he knows everything in the spirituality. And when we have the confidence, when we believe that, okay, this Guru Maharaj, this spiritual master is going to help me out to get out of this material world. Birth, death, old age and disease. Janma mrityu jara vyadi. Chakra se bahar humko nikalwa dega. So that belief should be there, and that is the mood of Pariksit Maharaj while asking these questions in the chapter 8. And the inquiry is essential for immunity to all kinds of offenses on the path of devotional service. Even if one fixed in devotional service like Maharaja Pariksit, he must still inquire from the realized spiritual master all about this. So, why Pariksit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami? Because Sukadeva Goswami is already self-realized person. No? We can understand this by very simple, We are, when we do some mistakes, for example, our hands are tied in the police station, There are two prisoners are there inside the jail. The two prisoners are tied with the hands. Is it possible for the other person, who is accompanying him, to take out this rope from his hands? Not possible, right? Because he is also tied. If both are tied, and there is no possibility. And if one of them is free, and then he can remove the ropes which are binded by them. So similarly, if the spiritual master is elevated, and he can only give the real knowledge of the spirituality and take us from this material world to the spiritual world. That way, here Pariksit Maharaj is actually is a devotee by birth. Still, at the time of death, is going to die in few days, so he understood, but still he is inquiring about the God consciousness. What is the supremacy, and who is supreme of this nature? He is asking many questions, right? So that is one of the importance of the spiritual master we can understand from this chapter. And the spiritual master must also be well versed and learned, so that he may be able to answer all these inquiries from the devotees. The spiritual master should be in a situation where he can give answers to each and every question. He should not skip the questions, right? So that way Sukadeva Goswami is in that position. And one who is not well versed in the authorized scriptures and not able to answer all such relevant inquiries should not pose as spiritual master for the matter of material gain. It is illegal to become a spiritual master if one is unable to deliver the disciple. Now we can see there are many gurus across the world. They says that I know everything. There are many ashramas around the world. And there are many big temples, everyone is having hundreds and thousands of acres of lands, and they are establishing their ashramas. They're trying to pretend that, okay, I am the supreme, or I am the real guru, I am the Jagat Guru. Many people says that. But if we go there, what will happen? They start taking out all your, money, or they will tell you many stories. Okay, if you do this yajna, okay, your problem will be solved. If you do this puja, and your problems will be solved. Like that, there are many people who are bewildered and goes to that kind of gurus and try to get out of the situation, the material condition. But it is permanent. No, it is going to be temporary. Even if the yajnas or the austerities or pujas which is mentioned in the scriptures, which may give the results, but that gives only temporary results. It is not going to be a permanent result. So, but the people anyway, especially in the Kali Yuga, we are in the fast life. We want the results should be very faster. If I do puja today, I need to get the result immediately. Tomorrow I need to get the result. Otherwise, what I will do? I go and ask the Guru, why you are saying this? I have given you so much money, but you are not taking out my problem. There are many cases like that also. But the unfortunate thing is the person who try to get the answer or get out of the problem, he goes to a second guru. He leaves this one, okay, this person is not going to work out, but still might be there is some more person they can get me out of this. So that is the kind of spiritual masters, or we cannot say spiritual master, but there are masters of the material opulences. They can try to take out the money. Yeah. So that is one of the, we can understand the importance of the spiritual master. Spiritual master is very much needed, and we can do. But at the same time, these are very few, what I try to quote here, which are, mentioned in the 8th chapter. And also, what is the quality we have to have, where Pariksit Maharaj is trying to ask the questions. What is the state of Pariksit Maharaj? Mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. What we have to do? We have to avoid mental speculations. Okay, if I do this, okay, it is going to happen like this. No, we should not think that. That is already prescribed, that is already properly described in the scriptures, and which is properly understood by the spiritual master. He can explain you. Bhagavatam is explaining very well about everything. And then why again you have to do mental speculation? There is no need, right? You directly go and read the scripture and try to reach out to the spiritual master, and spiritual master will you enlighten on the path of bhakti. And by independent study of books of knowledge can give advancement in spiritual life. And at the same time, okay, I have money of 10,000 rupees, I can buy Bhagavatam set. I put it in my home, I continuously keep on reading. Is that going to help us? Maybe some extent it is helping us, but it is very difficult to understand many points. Especially for example, if we take Telugu Bhagavatam, maybe there are many Sanskrit words are, Grandhik. We cannot even understand what is that word exactly means about it. When I was reading this Telugu Bhagavatam of this 29th sloka itself, there is some, different words are given. It's very difficult because we were into English language, Hindi, and mixed up with many things. So even our mother tongue is also become foreign for us. So independent study of books of knowledge, it's very difficult to do. Get advancement. Maybe we can understand a bit, but if we wanted to understand it very clearly, and what we have to do? We have to approach spiritual master. That is very much needed, right? Avoid reading unauthorized books, and at the same time we have to understand, we have to avoid, we have to take out all the books which are not authorized. It's very dangerous thing. I think Srila Prabhupada mentions in his lectures that the milk is there which is very tasty, cow's milk is there, but if it is touched by the snake, it becomes poison. Similarly, the scriptures are very pure, it gives pure knowledge, but which is coming from the mouth of the unauthorized people, and automatically the meaning changes. One day, I got one experience where I went to meet one of the donor supporter of our temple and who donates regularly for Annadan. When I was in discussion with him, I asked, do you have Bhagavad Gita? And then he and his mother were staying there, and his mother answered that question, yes, we have Bhagavad Gita and recently purchased it from one of the temple. And immediately she went, and she is very curious because she is reading actually from quite some time. So she got that book and she given it to me. I opened it, and which is directly opened me to a page where it is having a picture of this human physical body in a line, with 2 hands and 2 legs and this thing. And below that it is clearly mentioned, the Gita is not explains beyond the physical body, this line. Gita means the line which is, pictorial line is there, and beyond that it is not going to explain anything. That is the line. And immediately asked that person and the devotee, can you read this? And he wrote, after he reading and he tried to understand, yes, it's completely false information, right? It's not only talks about Bhagavad Gita, not only talks about this physical body, it discusses about the spirituality and the soul. It's beyond our physical body. But that book is, this much size. It's almost our first canto book size. And they I haven't read more. If I go in detail, and there are many this kind of information, false information which is mentioned, and immediately that devotee, he took our Bhagavad Gita and he gifted to her mother, and I also asked them to start reading this Bhagavad Gita, and then you can understand what is the real difference between this book and this book. It is actually called as Traita Siddhanta Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunate to have such kind of books which are there in the market, and still the people are selling it out and the people are buying it. So that is where we are strongly doing our book distribution. And recent times, from last 15-20 days, 1 month, we are distributing many Bhagavatam sets. Bhagavatam sets are becoming now Bhagavad Gita sets. That's very nice, actually. I really inspired by, in the morning, in the Mangalati, whatever we are saying, that one Bhagavad Gita, 2 Bhagavad Gita sets. Attapur is changing our... I think now in Hyderabad, everyone is having Bhagavad Gita, so we have to make everyone to have Bhagavatam sets. So, that is the reason, avoid reading unauthorized books. We can understand why Pariksit Maharaj is, referring to this. And one has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Prestige, satisfaction of the self-realized master. I think there is, one shloka, tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. How our mood as a disciple or the student of the master, we have to be very humble, and as it is mentioned, menial servant. Whatever Guru Maharaj says, we have to follow it simply. There is no questions asked. Basically, before connecting to ISKCON, I used to listen that the army people, everyone knows about it, right? Army people is trained in such a way that if his chief asks the army person to jump from the highest, what we say, altitude, from there if he asks to jump, and he immediately jumps, he don't ask any questions. Such kind of training will be given to the army people, I heard, and I read in some of the books. So the reason is that mood should be there in the disciples, and so that whatever the spiritual master says, we have to understand and follow. Tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. We have to ask the questions in such a way that it should be inquired. It's a kind of possible inquiry. It's not like in Telugu it says vitandavadam. What we can say in English? Vitandavada. Bias. You will be arguing. Argument. It should not be argument with a spiritual master, right? That is what in all the questions Pariksit Maharaj were asking, please kindly explain me about the creation. I will show you the questions also and try to conclude this as a complete chapter. So his questioning was very humble, and his questioning was really, he is expecting from inside his heart, wanted to understand what is the spirituality, what is supreme, who is supreme, what is this nature, what is this creation, what is this annihilation. His mindset, his thought process is to understand it. There is no second thoughts. But in society, whenever you go and you try to preach, and they immediately ask, why you are saying that only Krishna is the God? Why not this? Why not this? I am doing this Devi Puja, I am sacrificing this, this is coming from my generations. You are now saying that you stop killing the animals. Who said that? Even the person who is asking these kind of questions, they are not ready to listen. Because if they listen, they need to stop eating and killing. So submissiveness should be there if anyone wants to, in most of the preaching activities or whenever we reach out to the people, if they are asking such questions, then better like we keep quiet and okay, Hare Krishna, very happy. If you have Bhagavad Gita, no, then take our Bhagavad Gita and read it and come back. Otherwise, there are many people, asking these questions, right? Why should I stop sacrificing the animals to the goddess? Because they want to eat. So, what I am saying is, questions should be submissive and humble. It should not be kind of arguing. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnaya sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. The person who self-realized, he discloses many things. If you surrender and you ask the questions in the right direction. Okay, these are the qualities of the disciples we can have. So we just next 10 minutes we go through all the questions which are asked, and so that we can try to understand the mood of Pariksit Maharaj and how we can take it forward in the Bhagavatam reading further. In Shloka 1, the Pariksit Maharaj was asking, how did Narada Muni, whose hearers are as fortunate as those instructed by the Lord Brahma? So this sentence, you can understand the disciplic succession, importance of the disciplic succession. Why he should take the name of the Brahma while asking the questions? Because he's establishing a relationship between the Brahma until now whoever the gurus available. Right? That's what Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport about this. Instructed the Lord Brahma explain the transcendental qualities of the Lord. So now Sukadeva Goswami, what he explains, he needs to explain which is coming from the disciplic succession. He should not put the points on his own, right? So that way, the question is itself, it is asking like, the Brahma got the knowledge from Lord Krishna himself. It is an apaurishayam, and from that, how this knowledge came into disciplic succession unto you, and can you please explain me the qualities of the Lord, who is without material qualities? It is mentioned, it is a nirguna, raguna, actually. He is beyond the material, three material modes, right? Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So, what are all the qualities of the Lord without material qualities, and before who did he speak? Where he explained. So this is this question gives an glimpses on the disciplic succession and importance. That way we can understand that sloka, and from there the questioning is also putting the point. We have to continue our knowledge from we need to learn the knowledge from the right gurus. And from 2nd to 6th sloka again. Pariksit Maharaj, tells the qualities. I mean, whatever the understanding of God and the Lord, he explains those points in the other slokas. And in the 7th sloka, the transcendental spirit soul is different from the material body. Does he acquire the body accidentally or by some cause? So it's a kind of material body, soul, and how it is traveling. Which sloka we can connect in the Bhagavad Gita for this? Dehinosmin yada dehe kaumaram yavananjara tada dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muhyate. So from this question we can relate that to inquiring about the material body. What is this physical body is made up of? And what is the soul? Where the soul is residing? How it is traveling to the next form of life. So this is the sloka 7. It's a kind of second question which is there in the this chapter. In Sloka 8, what is the specific difference between the body of the Lord and those of common living entities? Okay, so our body is made up, living entity's body is made up of 5 elements, right? Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Khammano, Buddhirevacha. So, but what is the qualities, what is the spiritual body of Lord Krishna? What is the, how it is made up of? He got a question like, what is the difference between the living entities and the supremacy and Supreme Lord? So here the differences between the Supreme and living entity. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavanma prapajyate Vasudeva sarvamiti, sorry. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojana. It's, if we understand the birth and the actions and activities of the Lord, there is no reason again we are coming back to this material world, right? Janma karma chame divyam. God's birth and actions are divyam. So that concept here, he is asking the question in the Sloka 8, what are all the differences? And Shloka 10 explain the personality of Godhead who lies in every heart as the super soul and as the Lord of all energies, but is untouched by his external potency. So what are all the energies? What are all the energies? Krishna's energies? External energy, internal energy, and marginal energy. Yeah. External soul is marginal or external? I think it's an external, but when it get in contact with the internal energy, it becomes marginal. I think no. It's marginal energy. Okay. So, but it's actually spiritual, right? Satchidananda Swarupa. Soul is Satchidananda, but when it get in touch with the material body, material things, it conditioned into this thing. I think that is what, right, Prabhuji? And it's a, can we say soul as a external or it's a marginal only? Okay. So yeah, unless the soul is in this material world, still we are marginal only. Okay. So yeah, so that is a kind of difference between the supremacy and this thing. And but when Krishna descends to this material world, does he condition? No, he is beyond this material energies and material internal energy. He's all the energies are coming from him only. So there is no condition for him. And in the 11th sloka and 19th sloka, there are internal relationship where Pariksit Maharaj is asking about the planetary systems and which are part of the Virat Rupa. In the Virat Rupa, Arjuna sees all the planetary systems within the Krishna's body, right? So that way, again, Pariksit Maharaj is asking the question here to understand what is Virat Rupa and what is the position of this whole creation, how it is lying in the Mahat Tattva, and how we can understand that. This is the kind of question. I think this is covering, most of the Bhagavad Gita and everything of the Bhagavatam, right? And according to this, and Sukadeva Goswami is going to answer all the questions. And 12th, 13th and 22nd sloka, which discusses, asks, Pariksit Maharaj asks the question about duration of time between the creation and annihilation, nature of time and duration of life of demigods. The duration of the life of demigods is different from the material, our living entities, right? They have more lifetime. Brahmas in one day, we have 1000 Mahayugas in one day. And now we are in the second half of one day of Brahma. And we are in the 7th Manvantara, Vaivasvata Manvantara. So it's a kind of calculation of the time, and what is the nature of the time, when the creation happens and when the annihilation is going to happen, and who is the cause of all causes. And creation and annihilation is part of this question. So 12, 13 and 22nd sloka, where Pariksit Maharaj covers this time calculation, creation and annihilation. And how, next 14th sloka, how the proportionate accumulation of the reactions resulting from the different modes of material nature act upon the desiring living being. Actions and reactions. Karma, and according to that, what are all the reactions we are going to get. Everyone, why the living beings or living entities are lying in this material world? Because of our past deeds, past karmas, right? So Pariksit Maharaj is inquiring how these living entities are coming into this material world, and why those are suffering, and why they are conditioned, what kind of activities they are doing, and how those actions are giving the reactions. Why these actions we are doing here? Because of lot of desires. We wanted to accumulate more money, we wanted to accumulate more people, followers. We wanted to have an identity. In the society, if we have lot of money, what the person will be looking for? He wanted to become a politician, a leader, and so that he can get an identity that is a well-known person, right? The desires are deciding what are all the activities we are doing. And in the 15th and 16th sloka, inquiring about the creation, universe, and what are all the directions, what is heaven, what is the sky, what is the nature, what is these mountains all about. So everything is explained in the upcoming cantos, right? And Varnashrama, orders of life, Varna and Ashrama, Chaturvarna Maya Sushtam Gunakarma Vibhakasha, those Varnas related information. And inquiring about the different ages and different activities of incarnation. Whatever the avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Avatara, whatever the Leelas Shri Krishna done, about that he is inquiring. And in the sloka 18, common religious affiliations, occupational duties. What is our duty and what need to be done? That is in the 18. And this is the last question, inquiring about great mystics and their mystic powers. And whoever trying to practice the yoga and trying to get the mystic powers, some people floating in the water with a mystic power, and some people will take out some bhasma from the hands. And there are a lot of mystic powers accumulated by the people by doing the yoga activities. So what are all those mystic powers and what is going to happen with that? So like this, there are around 15 questions asked by Pariksit Maharaj in this chapter, and from there it goes on with the discussion from the upcoming chapters in the second canto and other cantos. So this is what I try to capture the information from this 8th chapter. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhuji. Chintamani Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in this chapter, Pariksit Maharaj asked so many questions back to back. How does Sukadeva Goswami will remember and answer all those questions? when you ask question to somebody, one or two or three questions, then after that no more questions, let me answer the first one or the second one. But here so many questions was asked.
So the question is how Sukadeva Goswami handled this, huh? Because he is actually a self-realized person. He can remember everything and anything, right? For the normal people in the material world itself, if they are having IQ, high IQ, they can remember many questions. And I think, at least we read, Swami Vivekananda used to read all the books, by flipping the pages like that and putting them aside. And after that he understand everything, on the material plane itself there are people having that kind of, power, and the spiritual souls, they are, born to give the knowledge. They can remember everything. So there is no this thing. Prabhuji might be, can add anything. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. In Telugu, there are some scholars. They are called Ashtavadanis, Shatavadanis. So what they do? Continuously questions were asked to them. 8 people will be there. Fatafat, they will be asking. Ashtavadanis there. Shatavadanis. Continuously 100 questions, and then the speaker has to give 100 questions, one after another he has to answer. They are called Shatavadanis. Even now, there are many scholars in Telugu, in Andhra, Telangana. There are very famous people who answers like that. Shatavadanis they are called as. So then what to speak of those days, the 5,000 years back, Sukadeva Goswami, who is a transcendental personality. So it is a just casual thing for him.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. You know, na, Shatavadanis?
No,
but you know about them, no?
Yeah, I know about that. There are Sahasravadhanis also there. They take the questions, and after that, even questions is not like that is mentioned in the book and they will answer, and they will bring the poets. I mean, they will put on the fly, they create shlokas from the words whatever you give. For example, even if you give mic, door or something like that, there are 3 or 4 words, and from that 4 words they will bring one shloka, and which is very nicely, with all the chandas applied and so on. So there are many people like that. Ashu Kavitvam. So they continuously give a lot of this thing. So this might be one of the mystic power, or which is coming from the past life. They are already learned a lot of things, and then that is carried forward. That is a kind of reincarnation we can understand. Okay, Prabhu. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrunda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.